Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Live with the Dragonforge. Actual name of the stream pending. We are here today with Teacher Mikey to discuss Kill Team. What is this? Like 2.0? Like Kill Team 2021. So,
2021. That's fine.
2021. Yeah, we just used to call it like Kill Team 2018. So, with the new Kill Team comes a lot of changes, which I honestly haven't been following as well as I should have, since I was focusing on a lot of the AOS content and salting on how much they hated death. So, we have here our resident skirmish simp, Teacher Mikey, to talk to us about like everything Kill Team. And But first of all, as with the release of every new Kill Team edition, we are getting a new box set. So before we had Space Wolves and Tau and like Orcs and Marines and whatever. So yeah, so it's right behind you. And what was that? Admech and
GSC, Gene
yeah, Gene
Stealers.
Stealer cults. Okay. So Mr. Doctor, can you bring us to the screen share? Right, so we are in the screen share. So the contents of the new
Woohoo!
Kill Team Octarius box is like pretty nice. We got like a brand new Orc Commando Kill Team, which comes with a Suicide Bomber Squig, which is like the coolest thing ever released for
That's
orcs.
the best part. That's the
Yes,
best.
that is the best part. Everything else is like extra to the kill team. The most important
Yeah.
bit is that squig. It's that squig. So, and of course
Second
the
is the shovel. Second is the shovel.
yes. Well, no, it's the squig for the orcs, and for the deathcore, it's the shovel.
The
Okay.
power shovel.
The power shovel, yes. The shovel is guaranteed to cut through like power armor because it's an insanely powerful weapon. And these are entirely new models with new poses, and they are full kits, so you do
Yeah.
have options for them. Though they are designed specifically for Kill Team, so they do have like bits that will let you express your various specialisms and customize your boys the way you want them to be customized. Since I've never actually seen a helmetless like deathcore Krieger
Person.
um meat shield. So what we have here is we have to have a different way of being able to personalize without actually having like the helmetless guy is the leader for 40k, and they don't really have huge pauldrons either. So yeah, it also comes of course with the core book, the Octarius manual, which Teacher Mikey, do we know what's in the Octarius manual now?
What we know, no? Everything we know about the Octarius manual is stuff we've seen on the Warhammer community previews. Plus, if you remember, there was a live Warhammer live. Was it 2 weekends
Yes,
ago?
yes. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was 2 weekends ago. No? They had a booklet, and the booklet, it was done slow enough that people from the Glass Half Dead channel on YouTube, they were able to scan it. No, they were able to scan it, able to zoom it, and actually read through some of
Read
the
through it.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So later, when we get to some of the other stuff, we'll be able to explain some of them
Mhm.
using the things that we discovered in the Glass Half Dead Discord. So
Nice,
credits
nice.
to Glass Half Dead for doing
Right.
that.
Super thanks. We also have, of course, the dice, and they actually want us to use combat gauges for this one instead of the standard tape measure. But you can still use your tape measure.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. The tape measure will never go out of vogue. Like it's the tape measure.
Of
The
course.
standard Games Workshop tape measure has even been featured on season 1, episode 2 of The Good Doctor. Like
Yeah, good catch. Good
yeah,
catch.
yeah. I was just like, hey, does that say Games Workshop? He's too poor for a TV, but he plays Warhammer.
Priorities.
Okay.
I don't have a TV. I don't have a TV in my room. You can see it. You can't see it. No TV, but I
No,
have
no,
a
he literally
boatload
just
of
has like
Warhammer.
he literally has like a bed on the floor, like a mattress on the floor.
And that's all we need.
Yeah,
And Warhammer.
that's true. That's true. So we also have the tactical ops cards and
Yeah,
tokens. So these are like just gaming accessories. You can usually like opt to not use these. And
yeah,
we also have the new standard 30 by 22 gaming board, which is because they shifted the sizes to of like regular 40K to 60 inches by 44. You
yeah.
can actually put two of these together and have like a full 40K battlefield for like 2000 points. And that's totally great. No longer do we have to suffer the very, very nice kill team or starter set boards that you can't really use for tournaments. And of course, there's a bunch of orc buildings, orc scrap piles. And it was confirmed in the stream that, yeah, well, in the Warhammer community stream that there the tower there, the orc watchtower, the um the orc skull there is sculpted on, so you can't really remove it. So this is really great for orc players in general, and we expect the orc players to buy like a lot.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I
since
know
you
some
can use
people
this.
who want four.
I mean, like you can use this for like vehicle plating, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. You can just dump like cut one of those walls out and then like put them on a
Oh man.
rhino and make a
Yeah,
truck.
I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. And I'll zoom up. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can. It's really
yeah.
nice.
And it's 100% GW plastic, totally legal, right?
Yep.
You
Kit
can
bash all you
actually
want.
like I see wheels on it, so you can probably like sculpt out the wheels and like resculpt the various elements of this to make your own truck.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I
But
mean, if someone
it's
does
a
it,
kit
like,
basher's dream. It's a kit
yeah,
basher's dream.
well, an orc kit basher's dream.
Hey, we got a friend from Solo Board Gamers PH watching right now. I'm checking on
Oh,
my
nice,
mobile.
nice, nice.
It's Soy Pamorca, no, from Solo Board Gamers PH. Thanks for watching.
Right. Okay, so yeah, here's basically everything. The commando also has like a really nice hat. Orcs have been
Yeah.
partial to like nice hats in the past and have even gone to war for the promise of an inquisitorial hat in Dawn of War 3. No, Dawn of War 2, sorry. We pretend Dawn of War 3 does not exist.
Hey, Kesh, is this the first time we're seeing Orc Commandos in plastic? This is the first time.
In plastic, I think. Yeah. Like I've never actually seen anyone play Orc Commandos before. They may
Yeah.
have been fine cast.
Kasi they're actually the best Orc unit in Kill Team of old, but no one has ever actually played with them. And even Flayed ones weren't released in plastic until
Yes.
that very unmemorable Pariah Nexus release just a few
Yeah.
months ago. Oh my
Yeah, I
goodness.
mean, like you release like a box, put rules in it, and then like poof, new edition. This is all gone.
And we bought into it. We bought in. I bought into it.
I bought into it. Well, at least I sold you the rules, which
Definitely. Definitely.
yeah. So I did get like these glorious heavy intercessors, which are on my desk right now. Still deciding what weapons to put on them, and I will probably decide to go with the magnet bolt rifle. So
Well, with Kill Team, you don't really need to decide because you can outfit them individually. But that would create
yeah,
problems if you decide to use them in big 40k.
exactly. Which isn't as big a problem then in Deathwatch kasi
Yeah.
Deathwatch is pretty customizable din naman. Pero yeah, I'm using them as
Oh
Blood
nga, no?
Ravens. So I'm
Oh,
going
okay.
for the magnet bolt rifle. So
Death
basically
Watch.
drill magnets. There we go. Ah, you have Zicodex.
Yes, I am secretly a Death Watch synth as well in
Yeah,
40k.
Deathwatch is great. Deathwatch has actually been like showing up in top four in some tournaments as I saw in Goonhammer. Specifically using the
For peace. No?
Outriders, yeah, the various kill teams, like with
Yeah.
5-man strong Outriders being troops and like 5-man strong Eliminators, which is one of the few times we see Eliminators nowadays.
Oh, you're correct. No, you're correct. The heavy
It's
intercessors get the same thing that the other kill teams can do, where you can outfit everyone differently.
indeed,
They
yes,
are
yes.
literally the embodiment of that watch
Kill
is
team,
kill
yeah.
team.
I
It
mean,
is
like
kill team.
it. They have kill teams in their unit list. So I mean,
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Okay,
yeah,
so that's a good purchase. That
yeah,
codex is a good purchase. I've always believed in the Death Watch. It's
yeah.
like kill
And
team and
lore
40k.
wise, it's great. Like it's a Death Watch codex.
Yeah. Anyway, we're yeah, we're
Do you
straying into
see the banner? Do you see the banner?
yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go back on topic. Okay, let's go
All
back
right,
to the actual kill team.
all right. So we are now looking at one of the new data sheets, which features the profile. All of the images from today are from Warhammer community. And Teacher Mikey, can you walk us through like the different things? There are some here that are familiar to us, like movement and save and wounds, but there are some things here like Ga and Apple and Dragonforge. So what are those?
Okay, so I'll have to preface this a bit, no, before we dive into the new mechanics. No, so we'll
Go.
just take a quick look back at old kill team. No? So this came out in 2018, basically the iconic skirmish war game that helped save Games Workshop. And back then, it was called Warhammer. It's like 40k light. No, it served as your gateway game to the bigger
Hmm.
40k game, and it was very effective in doing that. A lot of us and those who are watching, those in the Warhammer Philippines community, you know this very well. Oh, pang kill team lang. Oh, hanggang kill team. Oh, this it. It's just for kill team.
Yeah,
I'm never
like
playing
I'll
big
say,
40k.
oh no, until kill team lang ako, then how many armies do you have na?
Yeah, and look what happened. From I went from the kill team core rule book to the 8th edition rule book, okay, and a boatload of 8th edition codices and supplements. Now, again, no, that goes back to the original design of the old kill team.
Yeah,
It was very
it's a
much
gateway drug.
anchored. Yeah, and it's very much anchored. No, the mechanics of Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team was very much anchored to the base mechanics of 8th edition at the time. So if you were already playing 8th edition, you wouldn't have any problems playing Kill Team because all you had to do was um, play the different phases differently. So it was in a way still alternating activations, except that you alternated moving everything and then shooting with everything and then meleeing with everything. So Kill Team back then was very much connected to the 8th edition rules, which was great if you really wanted it to be a gateway game. But it created another problem, which was it was very much like 8th edition. It didn't feel like it was its own game, and there were some mechanics from the big 40k game, from the big Army game that didn't translate well. New Kill Team, third, well, fine. I think just to just to lessen the confusion, I think the consensus is this is second edition, but technically it's the third.
Yeah,
Technically, it's the
since
third
we had
edition.
the really old one where they actually had a bunch of revisions. It used to be anything elites can be played. So
Yeah,
Vian's first experience of Kill Team was against a Riptide.
that's wild. Okay, so
Yeah,
for all
that was
intents and
totally his
purposes,
fault, no? Yeah. So
yeah, so for all intents and purposes, we'll just refer to this as second edition. I mean,
yeah,
the new Kill Team. Let's just refer to it as the second edition of Kill Team, the revision of the game we all know and love. And what's great about new Kill Team is that it has bespoke. Wow, bespoke. That's not a word we normally use, but apparently in the UK, bespoke means
it's everywhere. Bespoke is everywhere.
yeah, but it's not something we really encounter in normal usage. So bespoke rules, bespoke data cards, meaning this is kind of like Warcry, no, where Warcry is not a gateway to Age of Sigmar. Warcry is its own game with its own mechanics with some familiar twists, no, and so that brings us to the new edition of Kill Team. it's no longer anchored. No, it's no longer anchored to the mother game. And you'll see here in the custodian guard, it has 18 wounds. No, so if you could just go to the we have a Chaos Space Marine. Tama ba? Let's just look at the Chaos Space Marine and the thousand.
Uh,
Okay,
there
okay,
we go.
that's a good start. Sige, let's go back to the Trooper Veteran.
Okay, Trooper Veteran.
So 7 wounds, and if you go to the Chaos Space Marine, it's how many
12
wounds? You
wounds.
have 12. And then if we go back to the Custodian Guard, we have
18.
18 wounds. So you can already see how they were able to translate that. No? And what this does is it creates more granularity. What does that mean? They can finally go on a small scale and express how they actually move in squad-based combat. So we'll go through all of these, things very quickly. Move is, you can see in the Custodian Guard, it's 3 circle. And later we'll get to the side, but a circle
The
basically means
shapes.
2 inches. Yeah, the shape. So a circle is basically 2 inches, and it tells you that the custodian guard can move a total of 3 circles. No, six
Okay.
inches. Okay, and why is that important? Because there will be mechanics. Okay, so this is speculation based on the page flip, but there's speculation that there can actions can be interrupted as you
Oh.
perform each of those circles. And there's also a rule that was already shown in the Warhammer community article where if you want to vault over a 1 inch high obstacle, you'll have to spend 1 circle. Or if you want to access a ladder or um, a stairway that goes an infinite number of inches, you can just spend 1 circle and you'll be
So
able
it's
to
just
scale
one
that
circle to
distance.
climb like staircases and vault. Okay, okay, that's
Yeah,
actually
to
pretty
vault over.
nice.
Yeah, that's pretty nice, diba? And creates a lot of game design opportunities. Like, are you able, like in XCOM, like if you're passing through, can you actually interrupt them after the first circle, the second
Mm.
circle, or after the third circle? So there's a lot of things that's possible, though, but we don't know yet.
Yeah,
Uh,
if that's the case, it's gonna feel a lot like the Space Hulk board game.
right, right. Yeah, I can't bring it out. It's stuck value. So anyway, moving on.
Yeah, it's fine.
We're going to go to the APL. Now, APL stands for Action Point Limit. No?
Hmm.
And you'll see that the Custodian Guard has an APL of 4, but if you go to the Veteran Guardsman in the next slide, it has
It's
an
two.
APL of 2, and
The
to
Chaos
the
Space
Chaos Space
Marine
Marine,
has three.
3, and the Thousand Suns has 2.
Two.
Okay. Now, what is APL? We'll go to the slide where we see the actions that you can. So APL is action point limit. It tells you how many actions a particular model can make. Now, what's great about this is it creates an opportunity for usually elite teams. Because one of the problems of old kill team was that, for example, in the case of the Adeptus Custodes, you can only
Mm.
take a maximum of 3 models. A maximum 3 models in a game that values mobility and numbers. So Custodes is playing on super hard mode. They're tough to kill and they can kill a lot. But when it comes to racing for objectives, basically their win your win condition is to kill everything, which is your favorite tactic, Kesh. When playing with
Mm.
Custodes, right?
Yeah,
You're
I
just
mean,
solid.
if you're playing Custodes, you're like you have to ignore all the objectives and kill. Like
Yeah,
that's really it.
and but if you're going to use the competitive rules of the ITC and such, which are
Hmm.
very objective based, then it's not really gonna hang. No. So what the APL, the action point system, does is give these elite teams a chance to thrive. No. Now later when we get to the team building section, no, we'll go a little deeper. But these are the things that you can spend those APL on. Now, if you look at the guardsman, it's one APL because it's a puny human. Okay, never mind that it's a Krieger.
It's
No?
two APL though.
Sorry, it's
Yeah.
two APL.
So you can still like move and shoot or move and melee, but you can't do as much as a golden banana, for example.
Yes, no.
Yes,
So
which makes a lot of
and
sense.
it makes a lot of sense. And in the context of team building, the talents of the Emperor will have a maximum of 7 models. on their team. Because okay, so we'll make a note on that later. And then, so the custodian guard is 4 APL, representing their superior speed and mobility. They can move, they can shoot, they can fall back. So we go back to the action list, please.
Action
Okay.
list.
So there you go. Everyone who's watching, we don't need to explain everything. It's right there. You can also find this on the Warhammer community article.
Mhm.
Fallback is 2 AP. That's the only thing that costs differently because it takes an extra effort. But you can already see that in a guardsman list of 14 models versus Talons of the Emperor, composed of 2 custodian guards and 5 Sisters of Silence. Yes, they've been folded in together. It's very obvious that the guardsman team will have superior numbers, no, but not and somehow superior mobility. But using the action point limit system, it allows elite teams to have extra actions. No? So
Mhm.
later when we get to the objectives, you'll see that accomplishing an objective actually costs, or accomplishing the conditions of an objective
Actually
can
cost
cost
AP.
you, yeah. So go back to the Thousand Suns. No, so what's great about the AP system? It's very flavorful. We know that in old 40k and also, sorry, in 40k and old kill team, that the I think Rubric Marines move at 5 inches. Tama? No,
Yeah,
they move
yeah.
at 5 inches.
They're
So
slow app.
they're supposed to be slow, and so you're wondering why do they have 3 circle? Why are they able to move 6 inches? That's you have the APL. You have the APL to help explain that. It can do as many actions as a Krieger, but it's just basically tougher. It's just not able to perform as many actions. So, yun. So, sorry, we spent a lot of time on the APL, no? But that's actually
Yeah,
explaining most of the
yeah.
kill team game.
It's actually where I had the most questions, and I hope like, in particular for rubric marines, there are ways to boost the APL. Like if you're within certain range of a sorcerer, which makes them actually function better. So I
Yeah,
hope you see something like that.
yeah, it's very possible that we might have a commander's expansion, just like in the old kill team, where you're able
Mhm.
to play with HQs. That would be something to look forward to.
Oh no, the sorcerer is just basically the aspiring sorcerer is the
Oh,
sergeant,
the
the unit
sergeant.
sergeant. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
right,
So
it's
he's
the
gonna be
sergeant.
in every single rubric based kill team unless you're playing Zangors.
Yeah, Sangors will definitely be here. It's on the if you go to the Warhammer 40,000 official kill team page, you'll
Mhm.
see a roster of what will be readily available on
Okay.
release. Yeah, so it's there. Maybe later if we're able to flash that now.
Yeah, we
So
can.
yeah, yeah. So that's APL. Sige. So GA is group allocation, but we're not entirely sure what that means. From what we got from the page flips and by looking at other war games, GA could refer to group movement. So everyone at GA1 can all move together in one turn. So, kasi normally in skirmish games, you're alternatingly moving stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But GA might, pure speculation, looking at other war games, GA might actually allow a player to move them as in the same group. So GA could be group allocation or group
Group
action,
action. Yeah.
probably.
There's a similar thing in Star Wars Legions,
Right,
where you
oo
can
nga pala.
actually give orders, and if you like give an order, you can have a bunch of like Obi-Wan can have a bunch of clone troopers move with him, so that they can all say hello there at the same time.
Yeah.
And hello
And
there is
that's,
actually one of his abilities. So yeah.
oh, it's a line. Yeah, it's a line from the
Yeah,
movie.
it's a line. Hello there.
Does he also
Okay.
have? I have the high ground. But anyway,
Yes.
okay.
Of course,
Yeah,
of
we'll have
course.
another. Yeah, we'll have another evening for alternative skirmish games.
Mm.
Anyway, so but that's not where the similarities end, no? With these games from I think from Atomic Mass Games, no? Star Wars Legion, Marvel Crisis Protocol, they're following the opposed die system, which brings us to the next part of the data card. And you can see here, you have DF, which stands for defense.
Wait,
SV for
go to like a bigger. There we go.
there you go. So we're looking at the trooper veteran. DF is defense, SV is save, and W wounds. Okay, so
Wounds, yeah.
and then you can see you can see the loadouts. The trooper veteran has the last gun and the bayonet, and you'll see number of attacks. That's A, and then ballistic skill, weapon skill. They've been baked in together, but
Hmm.
the distinction is in the icon. No, if you'll see at the far left
Yeah, if
of the
it's a
weapon stat
ranged
line,
or a melee weapon.
there you go. And then there's damage. For those who play Warcry, this will be very familiar for you. There's the base damage on the left of the slash, and on the right of the slash is the critical damage. Okay, so
Okay.
in one fell swoop, we'll try to explain that. New kill team follows the opposed die roll system. Okay, so that's a big departure from from big 40k. The opposed die system, it makes computations much for me personally much more efficient. No, it's easier to figure out the maths, and you don't need to remember anything other than your own stats. No? So basically, in combat, if you're shooting at someone, let's take the last gun. No? The last gun is
Hmm.
attack 4,
Yeah.
and you don't see range. Why is there no range? Because most range weapons in the game have no range cap. They have infinite range,
Oh, they
but you
have
will
infinite
see
range.
they have instant range, and it makes sense in a skirmish setting because you're
Yeah.
in close call. Yeah, you're in a very tight corridor, or you're in a small facility. Your last gun is supposed to be able to reach the other end. Oh. Now,
Yeah.
the
Is
exception to
this the
this,
same for stuff like flamers?
flamers and pistols. We can't see them here, I think, but I think there's yes, most range weapons have infinite range. Pistols, I think there's one with a pistol here. Okay, the
Here.
flamer.
See
Okay,
Coas Marine.
Okay, so this case Space Marine has a flamer, and if you see the SR column, it says special rules. That's where you'll see RNG Pentagon. It means range 6. So short range weapons like pistols and flamers and the like will have that special rule, meaning you really need to be within the 6-inch range to be able to use them. Okay,
Hmm.
so going back, when you declare an attack, you roll the number of d6. No, you roll the number of six-sided dice equal to the attack of the weapon that you're using. Okay, and then what you're aiming for a result that's specified on the BSWS. Okay, so in 40k, you roll to hit, you roll to wound. Here, you roll the number of dice equal to the attack stat of your weapon. So in the case of if you go back to the Krieger, the last gun is 4
Is 4.
attacks, and the ballistic skill is 4 plus, meaning any result of a 4 and up, a 4 or so 4, 5, and 6 is considered a success. It's a hit, and you no longer need to roll to wound.
Wound.
Instead, the target of the attack will roll a number of defense dice equal to their DF, their defense.
Okay.
So, a trooper veteran versus trooper veteran. Trooper veteran A rolls 4 dice with the last gun, and statistically, it would come up. Two of them would hit on a 4 plus, dealing 2 damage each. Okay, but if one of those dice was a 6, that's a critical hit. Instead of dealing 2 damage, it would deal 6 damage. Now, on to the target, the trooper veteran B, who is being shot at with the last gun, has a defense of 3 with a save of 5 plus. That only means that Krieger will need to roll 3 dice, and any result of 5 up will cancel out one of the opponent's successes. That's why it's an
Hmm.
opposed die system. Okay, and statistically, rolling 3 dice on a save of 5 plus would equate to 1 save. So if the attacking trooper was able to have 2 successes, and the trooper veteran was able to make 1 success, so 2 minus 1, 1 success, and that 1 success will deal 2 damage to the trooper veteran, bringing it down to 5 wounds. Okay? So that's the opposed die system. We can get more intricate with that. No, a 6 plus. Okay, a 6 plus on the attacker is a critical hit, and it, to make it juicy, the only way you're canceling out a critical hit is with a critical save, meaning
Okay,
the
okay.
defender will need to roll a 6 plus or spend two normal saves that succeeded.
Oh, so it's a lot like Warhammer Quest censored.
Yes.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Like
the
the canceled board game.
yes, the terrible metropolis,
Yes, the Vexed Village.
the Vex village. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
alliteration is important.
okay, so that's shooting. No. Now, what's very interesting is the melee system, which is very exciting for me. No. For those who are familiar with Star Breach and there are other and what call this Frostgrave. So Star Breach and Frostgrave. What happens during melee combat in those games is that the combatants will swing their melee weapons at each other at the same time, and that is reflected in the new kill team where with the mechanic we're in. When you, for example, Krieger A attacks Krieger B in melee with a bayonet, they will both roll their melee weapon of choice. So the trooper veterans will roll for the bayonets, and it's an attack of three. So they will now count the number of successes that they got, and then
Mm,
beginning with the attacker, okay, beginning with the attacker, they will choose, okay, they will allocate one die as a as a strike or a parry. Again, you each players will count the number of successes that they rolled, and beginning with the attacking player or maybe the charging player, they will allocate the successes either as a success or a parry. So a success will deal damage. A parry will negate damage. And
mm,
you will take turns doing that. And what's exciting about it is because it becomes a moment to moment decision. How many of my successes am I allocating to hurt my opponent, and how many am I allocating to defend myself with?
yeah.
And and it's a risk. It's a risk even for the one that initiated the attack, and that makes it very exciting.
Mm. It's gonna take a lot of getting used to, especially for like a lot of existing 40k players. But I
Yeah,
think it does have merit. It's really nice than, for example, a guardian spear has definitely more attacks than a trooper, and
yeah,
I actually expected there to be a lot more variance in the defense stat.
yeah. They're all three. You notice
Yeah,
that it's
I
more on the
honestly
save.
expected like custodian guard to have more than like a guardsman, but then they do have like a 2+ save. Pero that
And
means that
18
uh,
wounds.
yeah,
It's pretty wild.
pero that means that a custodian guard can no longer like get shot by like if the guardsman is really lucky and hits with everything, the guardsman the banana cannot cancel all of the wounds, right?
Right. But what's okay? And now we get to invulnerable saves. You know? The way
Okay.
invulnerable saves work in the new kill team is that if you have an invulnerable save, you're basically able to cancel a critical on that value or higher.
Mm.
And if you look at how the storm shield works now in new kill team, it still does the invulnerable save thing, but the way it's expressed in melee combat is that you're just able to parry twice with one success. So that still makes custodian guards, uh, especially the shield and sword variety, very very durable. As if they weren't hard enough to kill. And look at that critical. Look at that critical in the guardian spear.
Yeah, that's a 7. That's
That's
a
it.
crit one trooper veteran right there.
Yep, one critical is all it takes. Squish.
And that's a veteran. That's not
And
even
that's a
your
veteran.
it's not even your
Your bog
standard
standard
guardsman. Yeah.
guardsman. But yeah, so those are
Man.
that's basically all of the mechanics. You know, that's basically the basics of how combat, how actions work, you know, in the neutral team. The
Okay,
banana
okay.
kind of cancel all the wins.
I'm actually getting like a lot of FFG vibes from it, and I'm getting
Right.
yeah, I'm also getting some Lord of the Rings strategy battle game elements to it, which is also a GW system, so I guess like that's fine. But I was surprised to find that this plays more like an FFG game than a GW game.
And that's great because it means, I mean, okay, 40K has been around for a long time, and the
Yes.
strength versus toughness system, it's something I would consider archaic. It serves a purpose. No, it can be flavorful at times, but that's an extra thing that you have to remember. Oh, if it's higher, it's three
Well,
up. If
they got
it's
rid of it in
double,
AOS din naman.
yeah, diba?
Yeah,
So it's you can see the elements of modern wargaming being infused, especially the skirmish. Especially the skirmish mechanics being borrowed from all these different systems from other publishers, which is great. No, if you'll remember earlier this year, Games Workshop had an opening for a lead game designer
for Kill
specifically
Team.
for Killteam, and we're seeing the results. We're seeing the results. We're getting all of these nice mechanics from other systems being ported over, and it still feels distinctly Warhammer 40,000. It still feels 40K for me.
It's actually very different from what I'm used to. I see like opposing dice systems like this, and I think like Star Wars Legion. I think X-wing.
Yeah,
I haven't actually played Crisis Protocol since I'm not a big superhero fan. Um, so I'm not sure how similar it is to that system, but that's what I'm seeing in terms of feel.
yeah. What will really distinguish Kill Team, the new Kill Team, from the other games, and especially its predecessor? Well, it's something shared with its predecessor, but when you look at the objectives, no, the way what you're actually gunning for in the game, I think is what, and also the roster system, it brings a new level of tactics, no? And a lot of people are actually calling this XCOM 4K.
Yeah,
So
with
I'm a fan of.
hopefully stuff hits more than it does in XCOM.
Uh,
Yeah.
yes. And speaking of XCOM, no, because that's a single player campaign. No? The new Kill Team, so at least GW promises, no, that there will be a more robust campaign system because I have to
Oh
admit
gosh.
the old campaign system in the old KT, it's ass. Am I allowed to say that? Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah, yeah,
ass.
that's fine. Ass is an allowed word, so is but. Um, Basically, let's try to keep it PG-16. Yeah,
Sure, sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that allows us one F bomb every 2 hours. But yeah,
I think some of my students are watching. I'm called
so
teacher,
let's not
and
drop the F bombs. Yes,
yeah, and I'm representing another institution where I study.
yes. F bomb being food.
Food, yes.
Yes, food.
Anyway, going back. So what do you think of the new Kill Team so far compared to old KT? So you've been hosting games at the Dragonforge for the longest
Yeah.
time.
Well, honestly, looking at this new system, it's definitely harder to learn than the kill team that we're all used to, which is closely based on Warhammer 40K. So it's gonna be harder to transition from one system to the other. Yet
Right.
it's also not as big a mess as something like what was it? There was a predecessor to Kill Team that was released and then discontinued. I think it was Shadow War Armageddon.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's what it
It's
is.
not as big a mess as Shadow War Armageddon. Um, for people just joining the stream now, we are currently we just finished looking at the unit profiles, so you can just rewatch the stream later. And if you have any questions, we will still be replying to the comment section after. Um,
Yeah.
other comments on the system so far is that it's also easier. It seems to be easier to learn than Necromunda.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely.
yes,
Infinitely. Infinitely.
gods, Necromunda. Necromunda is like a labor of love to learn. So
Yeah, but I think,
Michael, I'm expecting it to be around the 9K to 10K mark, but
yeah,
we won't know until like I'm expecting this to go on pre-order next week, hopefully. Yeah.
is is that is that verified info?
No, that is cash intuition, right?
Okay, that's cash
Yeah, yeah.
tuition.
Take
Okay.
it with a fine pinch of Himalayan sea salt.
Oh, look, Rap Rap Banson from Campila din Calasag Gaming is here, and he is wishing for this is a person who is really into campaigns. Like he
Yes.
lives for campaigns. He runs Mordheim. So
Oh God,
yeah,
more time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So Rap Rap Banson, I'm with you. I am super wishing for a good campaign system. And I know Juno Alcantara, no, who's really big into narrative gaming. He's also wishing for a robust campaign system.
Yeah. Here at the Dragonforge, we have like mostly well, actually all of us are casual players at heart. We do like weird rules, we do like campaigns. Even our tournaments are extremely fluffy and goofy. Though we haven't had like a cash cup in 2 years. And for those who didn't know, we actually had to halt a kill team campaign right before its conclusion due to COVID. So we just fluffed it as suddenly the demon prince of Nurgle, Xi Jinping, unleashed the plague on the planet. Everyone died. So so that's
You
what
are allowed to
happened to
say
our
that.
kill team campaign. So looking forward to actually seeing a more fleshed out kill team campaign. Uh, especially
Yeah,
a more
definitely.
narrative one. Like they did really well in Crusade.
Mm-mm.
In my opinion, not as well in the AOS campaign system, though that still leaves a lot of room to grow, especially with like new codices. But right now, it's feeling pretty bland compared to Crusade.
Mm-mm.
Though I do like the idea of having like various strongholds and building a base. So if they put it here, like I'd love that as well. Like that element of like building up your base, building up your territory, that would be great here. I actually wish there was a lot more of it in Necromunda.
Right. Sige. So since we're already talking about some game design principles, no, might as
Mm,
well do a little segue on that, no. When it comes to the game design choices that they had
segue
for
away.
that they made for new kill team. What you said earlier, no, that it might be harder for native native 40k players to
Unga bunga.
okay. You said it. You said it. Came from the Indian guy. Okay. So
Unga bunga, 3
so,
plus
so
2 hit.
okay, you get the I pass because you're Indian. Okay. So
Yes, yes.
so
I
people
get all the
transition.
passes.
Yeah, you get all the passes. Okay. So
I'm a
uh,
minority man.
yeah, you're allowed. I mean, oppressed and stuff. You can say what you want. All right, but
Both
going
sides of
back.
my heritage were oppressed.
Yes. Okay. And now we transition. No? Okay, so for those who are 40k native 40k players, transitioning to kill team, it might be hard. No, but if we're going to look at game design principles, the opposed die system, so it's only hard for us because we're so used to roll to hit, roll to wound, roll to save, checking strength versus toughness. But if you're fresh, into wargaming, if you're fresh into skirmish, opposed dice systems are very intuitive. Like, okay, I shoot for successes, I shoot for saves, count the number, and subtract. That's it. So, um, in that sense, no, in that sense, for those who are coming in with fresh eyes, who've
Hmm.
never played the skirmish game, who've never played a war game, it's super easy to explain. And that's what's great about the data cards. It tells you exactly. You can actually glean the rules just from looking at the data cards. Attack, roll a number of dice. Defense, roll a number of dice. And you see the targets for BS, for WS, for save. It's all there, no? So on a game design level, it's looking very elegant. No, it's looking very elegant, and I think the purpose really is for the new kill team to be divorced from its mother system, no?
Well, they're
Which is
divorced,
great.
yet in such a way that they actually had a proper like split of assets.
Right, right.
Yeah, so it was an amicable divorce,
They learned
or
from, yes, it
or a
is.
divorce with a prenup, I guess.
Yeah, and again, no, like what we said earlier, it's a lesson they learned from Warcry. No,
Warcry, yes.
now speaking of Warcry, no, people are making the comparison that, oh no, Killteam is being dumbed down. It's going to be Warcry for 40k. Two things. First, Warcry is not dumb. Okay, it's not a dumbed down skirmish game. In fact, Warcry for me currently is one of the easiest games to explain. One of the easiest games to explain. It's very fast. I can play a game in 20 minutes. It's just bash each other in the head. No, that's the beauty of Warcry. Nothing dumb about it. It's super fun. No, but what we learned from Warcry is that yeah, we can. So Kill Team, from what I've seen, will probably play still around 60 minutes. It won't be as quick as Warcry. No, because when I've taken a look at the objectives, so that's from an article from last night. So we look at the articles so far, what we've seen from the mechanics, the objectives, this might still be a 1 hour game, but the way the mechanics are being designed will make you feel like there's a moment to moment thing happening. And the complaint about old Kill Team is that it's so much like 8th edition, it's so much like Big 40k that it feels like it. But it's a skirmish game. It's supposed to be a skirmish game. There's supposed to be the moment to moment action. And Warcry is the best example of that. No? But in Kill Team, it's still moment to moment action, but there's just a lot more things to consider on a tactical level, which is its own fun. No, I'm not going to compare which is more fun, Warcry or the new Kill Team. One, we haven't played new Kill
You
Team yet.
haven't played it, yeah.
Yeah, but it's looking to be a chess game, whereas Warcry is a fun arcade game. New Kill Team is shaping up to be XCOM, which is basically a chess game. There's moment to moment action. There are thrilling decisions to be made, and that might address the issue of how plodding old Kill Team was. Simply because you needed to roll to hit, roll to wound, roll to save, roll to injury, and roll for morale at the end of it all. I mean, there's a lot of it that's been cut out. There's a lot of it that's been cut out in the new Kill Team. And I won't mind playing 1 hour of this if I don't feel like it's 1 hour. If it feels
Mhm.
like, oh, wow, I'm rolling. People are always rolling dice and making decisions. So that's a plus in favor of neutral team.
Yeah, a good way to actually see if you're enjoying something is how fast your perception of time goes. Like
Yeah,
waiting at the doctor's office, it feels like forever, while playing like the game feels like 15 minutes and then it's sun up.
yeah.
Um,
So I hope that answers your question, no, Louis and JP. Those
yeah,
are our thoughts on the length of the game.
yeah. Another thing is that comment about people are like, oh no, they're dumbing down Kill Team. It's gonna turn into Warcry. They said the same thing about 8th Ed 40k. Oh no, it's turning into AOS. It's the same thing, but then 8th Ed turned out to be pretty okay. I do still miss my glorious templates. Since yeah, I'm a player who loves glorious RNG, and like templates for me were like the ultimate in swingy RNG, where like Vian wipes out his own allies squad of Melta sisters,
Sige, let's
stuff
look at
like
the
that.
templates. Let's look at the combat gauges. Latrap Bantam is watching, and he super loves templates. Sige.
Okay,
So,
so they're giving us templates now. Oh, are we talking about this or later now?
yeah, we can go back to that later. Let's get
Okay,
to
okay.
the juicy, controversial stuff. Oh no,
Templates.
templates! Okay, I really want to talk about the templates because a lot of people were crying the end of the world, no? Like really complaining about it vocally in the comments on Reddit, on Discord. Ako personally, because I do play Marvel Crisis Protocol, it does require proprietary measuring tools. I had concerns. I had concerns because um, in Marvel Crisis Protocol, I could excuse it internally because I really like the mechanics of MCP and I wanted to be able to play it. But having proprietary dice on top of proprietary measuring tools for me was a big concern because the
Yeah,
goal
that's an
supposedly,
FFG hallmark.
diba? But
Yeah,
in my head, um, with with how Games Workshop has been approaching game design lately, seems to be skewed towards getting new people in. Getting new people in. GW, despite what people say, it's actually it's a company for the masses in the sense that they're making the rules more
the
accessible.
masses.
The the masses who don't eat food and spend it on Warhammer instead. But
That
anyway,
is true. That is true. Why are we still fat though? Anyway, keep going.
So the templates, oh no, what happens if we don't have templates? What happens if we lose them? We're gonna have to buy rulers. Are they going to be sold separately? Do I need to buy the Killteam box just to get these? And what are those shapes? What are those shapes? If we go to the next slide, we'll see what those shapes actually mean, diba? It's the
The shapes.
Oh my goodness! So, and this, this caused a shot storm. Okay, shots hit the fan when this was explained, no? Because it was bad enough that there's going to be templates, but now there are shapes as well. And then people were mad because, oh, okay, so they actually have inches. So why not just print them on the templates? Why not just use rulers instead? Why does there have to be templates? And if people just, calm their upper chest parts, okay, people could just calm their upper chest parts and took
Our
a step
pectorals,
back.
yes.
And took a step back, you'll realize that these templates, so we look at the templates again.
Yeah, they're just like 6 inches, 4 inches,
Yeah,
3 inches, 2 inches. It's
and
really
very
just
convenient.
a ruler, uh,
Yeah,
guys. Yeah,
it's a ruler, and it's a very, very convenient measuring tool. That's the spirit of templates, actually. Diba? Those were the
yeah.
spirits of templates. Why they were there in the first place. What's great about these templates is that one, they are using units that we actually use in real life, inches.
Square,
So
the circle, and the triangle. Yes,
yes, okay,
yes.
but
Standards of the metric system of measurement.
yes, yeah. So from now on, we're going to be using shapes to talk to each other. But anyway, kidding aside, these are actual units. So the triangle is basically 1 inch. In
Yeah,
fact, I've already memorized it. The circle is 2 inches. Square is three 4 inches. No, 3 inches, and pentagon is 6 inches. And it just makes it very, very convenient. It's a quality of life thing. It's not the end of the world. No, and in fact, GW explicitly stated that if you have your old measuring tapes, you're golden. If you have your handy dandy transparent ruler, from the old Killteam boxes. These are
that's also fine.
great. This is great because there's infinite distance in range shooting. So,
You never actually have to go past like. Honestly, I would recommend cutting that at the 6 inch mark.
and that's it.
Yeah,
and then
that's it.
putting in
That's all
the
you need,
shapes.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, and
six
using a
to 12.
marker to put in
Yeah,
the shapes.
yeah. You can use like two sides, right?
Yeah, and Kill Team, with its game design right now, and going back to game design principles, this is literally all you need. Everything you need. This is two Kill Teams. It has my Death Guard, it has my Tau, it has my dice. Okay, it has my dice, it has my tokens, it has my ruler. Okay, and enough for two players. And this is still in spirit of GW's rebranding, no, to make it more accessible to the masses, no, and it's in line with what they've been doing on social media, and mainstreaming Warhammer through its animations, through its novels. You
Yeah.
know, Henry Cavill, or, we're
Yes.
entering the mainstream.
Yes.
One of us.
Yes, he
So
is
yeah.
definitely one of us. I think the biggest shitstorm, the reason for the shitstorm here is that the shapes don't, like, the shapes don't match in terms of inches and number of sides. So
Okay. How would
like,
you justify?
yes,
How
the
would you justify
pentagon
this?
definitely does have six sides.
Sige, how would you rationalize these? I can already hear Adam David shouting. No, I can hear his
Okay.
voice.
Okay.
Shout out to Adam David, our resident artist.
All right. So I'm gonna leave the one to the side for a moment because I'm having trouble with it. The two. All right. So um, a flat disk when brought into 3D will have two sides. Right? Right?
Okay, okay. Makes
Now
sense.
the
Makes sense.
square, the square. God, this is hard. Um,
Comment section. Comment section. Help us out.
comment
Help us
section. Come on,
explain.
guys. Why? How is a square a three? I'm going like it's blue, so Ateneo three-peat, but no, we got up to five. So
Oh,
like yeah, that's why it's still Ateneo Town Center and not UP Town Center.
you could type. You could
Like
type.
when we finally have like basketball games again, you can try to reconquer UPTC.
Square as three. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is three a square? Three. We'll get back
Louis.
to that. Now
Louis.
the Pentagon though makes perfect sense if you are Indian. It is a five and it is a six.
Oh!
It is
Oh!
absolutely perfect.
Oh! Okay.
And only I am allowed to make that joke because I am a minority.
Yeah, you have the iPass. Yeah,
Yes.
you, ha-
I,
you have
I
the
have
do-
most of the passes, honestly. Like, I've been given most of the passes.
Wait, are you 1% black or something?
No, no, I have black cousins, though. So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, it's very I also have Chinese cousins. It's very weird and complicated, and I'll explain it to you over drink sometime.
Okay, so JP Vergara has a R18 answer. Yeah, you know what? You can message it to us.
Yeah, yeah, you can actually PM one of us and like we'll just share it with each other and laugh with you. Um
Louis.
but please do
As
not comment the R18 in the comment section.
Yeah, I got students watching me. Louis, something cubed is three. But that's a square, man. That's a flat square. Okay, but sure. Michael
Um
Lynn.
ah,
What's
a cube is
oh yeah, sure, three dimensional.
no. What do we call like um
I
x to
still
the
have
second
magic.
power is x squared. What is x to the third power? X cube. X cube. Yun. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, you know what?
We
You,
got it.
you
We
got a
got it.
gold you got a gold medal for mental gymnastics.
Mm. I will now proceed to work for the government.
All right,
Harry
you heard
Roque,
it
eat
here.
your heart out.
Okay, you heard it first on the Dragonforge. Okay. Now before we get very political,
Yeah,
let's
the
look at
one.
let's look okay, the
We
one.
still don't have anything for the one.
No, you gave an explanation kanina, di ba?
Right,
Backstage.
right. So if you draw one, it's like this, right? So the top part looks like a triangle. It's weak. It's not as good as like the cube, which was spontaneous and great and awesome, and I deserve a Nobel Prize for it.
Okay, you know what? Comment section, give us ideas. Give
Come
us
on.
ideas. How do we justify the one? It's just dumb. It's just dumb. Oh, actually, that's the okay. So for all of GW's wisdom and business decisions, this was
Yeah,
the worst.
yeah. They
This was
flubbed this one. Like,
they flopped this one. I mean, they probably didn't flub it as hard as Warhammer
yeah,
Plus.
that's true.
Warhammer Plus.
Oh
But
gosh,
I can
remember
forget.
when the Warhammer 40K app was like released and like half the features were missing and like it linked to like a Google Drive PDF of like
Oh
the
my
rules.
gosh, I remember that. I
God,
remember
that
that.
was so bad.
A PDF. It's not even baked into the app. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it is now, but like at the start it opened like a Google Drive PDF.
yeah, Emperor bless GW. Yeah, there are some questionable decisions, even on a on a something with this. This is like graphic design. This is
Yeah, yeah.
visual arts. Uh,
Yes.
they should hire
They
someone
focused too
for.
much on like game design that they forgot to put in some visual design.
And you know what, dude? This is basic for game design. On the visuals of it, but again, these are things that we can forgive. We're super thankful for the new mechanics that
Mm.
are looking really, really good. And speaking of mechanics, we might get another Warcom article tonight, I think.
Tonight, okay.
Yeah, we might have another Warcom article tonight because they've been very consistent about it
Yeah,
since
every
the
Saturday, yeah.
yeah no and since 2 Saturdays ago they've been fairly consistent with the new 13
Oh
articles. So
gosh, I just got the comments. The triangle is Catholic. It's the tripartite God that is one.
oh, you mean like in Full Metal Alchemist? All is one. One is all. Are
No,
there any
basically
reads?
theology, but yes, yes, guys, it is actually theology. Gods, I had so
This is
many units of
heresy.
Theo and I did not think of this.
Well, this is heresy. This is heresy. Right? This is heresy.
Yeah,
Can't be talking
seriously,
about.
there is only the Emperor. There is no triangle in Emperor.
Or is there? Or is there?
Hmm. Hmm.
My, the first triangular number is one. Okay, cool. Sana kasama Beasts Naga sa new book. Okay, you know what, Michael Lim? Well, for those who've been playing old Kill Team, this might also be a business decision that I don't necessarily agree with. Old Kill Team, the core rule book. What's great about this is all you need. You get the rules, but you also get all of the data sheets here. But lately, like in Warcry, you have the core rule book for the rules and the mechanics. Everything's here except the stats. You're gonna have to buy
A separate
this
book,
book.
yeah.
Yeah, you need this book for order. You need this book for chaos. Good thing I have two friends, Nathan Briones, designer of Tadhana, and Thomas Regala, designer of Combatron, who bought Death and Destruction, respectively. So I don't need to buy all of the books. Not that I'm going to be playing those factions. No. Now, Kill Team was able to expand its data sheets with commanders, elites, bringing out all the stuff. Kill Team Annual, gave us
Oh
data sheets.
gosh, you have all of it.
Nexus gave us data sheets. So, yeah, of course, I have the big boxes
Yeah,
from
you
Kill
are
Team.
the skirmish simp. Like
Yeah,
you
so
did
hopefully,
you put that nickname in the chat?
yes, I was the one who put it in the chat. Someone else.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I am proud of it. So hopefully, Michael Lim, we're gonna see more data sheets, but actually, we don't know yet. We don't know yet if the compendium will be sold separately.
Yeah, they did
But
promise that all factions will be in there, so it won't be like
yeah,
order, destruction, death.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're fine with just the Kriegers and the Orcs, the Kill Team box will come with the stats and the campaign book specific to Kriegers and Orc Commandos. Okay, and the rest
Hmm.
will be in
Hmm.
the Kill Team compendium. Um, the Kill Team. So we talked about this earlier. If you go to the Kill Team website, there's a section on factions. If you click any of those factions, you'll be able to see the preliminary list of available units. But here's the thing: if you go to the Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team page, if you click on the Necrons, you'll only see the Necron Warrior and the Necron Immortal, I think, and the Flayed Ones. Those are the only three available units.
Oh
But
wow.
again, in during the book flip, people were able to catch glimpses of data cards for elites.
Oh,
Specifically, specifically, my favorite Necron unit, the
the
Lich
death
Guard.
marks. Oh, the Lich Guard. Okay.
Oh yeah, so death marks are also available on
Okay.
the
Excellent.
roster if you go to the website. But during the page flip, we were able to see we were able to glimpse the Lich Guard. So there might yet be hope for your favorite elite units. I personally hope that these guys for the Space Marines, so the Blade Guard veterans, um,
Yes.
they were fe- they were featured in the Pariah Nexus update of Old Kill Team. Heavy intercessors as well, but heavy intercessors are confirmed already for new Kill
I
Team.
mean,
You'll see it
they
in the
came
website.
out in a kill team box, so like if they don't put them in the new kill team, everyone who bought Pariah would be like screaming for
Yeah,
blood.
will be super mad, no? What I'm looking forward to is how the terrain will be transferred, no? So, for example, the 2D maps. So,
Hmm.
World Trader and Pariah Nexus and Arena, which I don't have.
Arenas
Um,
in like the Forge, so
okay, is that an invitation? Anyway, so those three
well, not
boxes
right
are
now, not right now.
okay. So those are 2D maps.
Hmm.
2D maps meaning you're gonna play top down. There's no verticality.
Yes.
I'm really hoping that there will be a provision for that in the same way that Catacombs exists for Warcry. Because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of arena and close quarter, close confines rule set fans who would like to see that, would like to continue to play that way in the new Kill Team. It's fun. It's a different game. It's sort of a different game, playing top down, no verticality. But
Yeah,
I'm
and
pretty sure
it's
they'll continue
also
for that.
I know, it's actually how they envisioned match play for kill team to go.
Right. But here's the thing. It seems that okay, so do we still have time? No, we're already over
Yeah,
an hour. No, so
yeah.
maybe they'd like to see how the objectives work. No, I think that will be the last. No, sorry, we spent a lot of time horsing around. No, but let's get to the objectives and get that out of the way. No, so
Here,
um yeah, so if we go back one slide, please.
son, consecrate ground.
Yeah, consecrate down. There you go. So it seems that there's going to be an emphasis on match play. I'm sorry, Rap Rap Dancer, who's looking forward to campaign, but it seems that new Kill Team is being designed such that all of these things about match play and competitive will be addressed. No, and it started with the combat gauges. The combat gauges very convenient, no contention in terms of range, no range cap, and the way that match play is designed is it's looking very elegant in terms of the objectives, no? And but here's the other thing as well. We're about to see objectives with mechanics that you don't normally see in match play and have a narrative fluff. If you look at Consecrate Ground, which costs 1 AP to perform, okay, an operative can perform this action while within 2 inches of a non-consecrated objective marker controls. Until the start of the next turning point, we don't know what that means, but we assume maybe that's when you pass the initiative to someone, okay, that objective marker is consecrated. So you can imagine the Krieger. There's a Krieger with a rose with a holy object, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you can
And there's a Krieger with like an open
Bible.
infantry. No, no, it's the Imperial Infantryman's uplifting primer.
Oh, the flipping timer, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so you can imagine that model praying or consecrating that ground. And what's interesting is after that action is completed, that model gets a
Like
bunch
a
of
huge bonus.
bonuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great because before no, and usually when you're accomplishing objectives in old kill team and also in current 40k, you don't exactly get benefits. You don't exactly get benefits. But to those who played tactics games in video games, like FF Tactics, this
Yes.
Gaia,
The best
there are
FF.
the best FF after FF4. But we're not here to argue about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay, okay, okay.
okay. When it comes to these tactics games on wood squares that you can interact with the terrain, you can interact with the objectives to gain bonuses, to open chests, get treasures and bonuses in the middle of the battle. And that's what we're seeing here. Objectives are no longer just points, although if you go to the next slide, you will see that consecrating a particular spot, the objectives on the map will net you victory points at the end of every turning point and will count towards your victory. But now, but now, objectives can also give you temporary benefits,
Yeah.
which will make for very interesting tactical decisions.
Yeah.
Diba?
That's actually pretty interesting. What I actually want to see here is how multiplayer will be played, since multiplayer seems to be the most popular game mode, at least in the Forge. It's usually like 4 people, 2 hours, one board.
Yeah,
That's what we saw a lot. Yeah.
yeah. In the Philippines, I think Warcry multiplayer is just the best. It's bloody, it's brutal, it's super fast.
Yeah, and
Um,
politics are always fun.
and the politics is there now with new kill team. Um, Although I still think it would be a longer game. And again, the moment to moment decisions to be made. But when you factor in a third and a fourth player with all of these objectives, new
Hmm.
objectives in mind, it's going to be chaos. And speaking of chaos, let's look at the next objective that was previewed last night. No,
Challenge.
so yeah, there's going to be TAC ops, so tactical operations. These are secondary objectives that you choose in secret before the start of the game, and they can be triggered. When a specific condition is met, you flip it like a trap card. No? So if you're playing
Yeah,
video, okay,
yeah. This is
I flip my
already
trap
how I
card.
play as a Dark Angel. So
Yeah, so I reveal my trap card, and I've been scoring. So I've scored my objective, and that gives an element of surprise, an even deeper element of surprise because you don't really reveal your secondary objectives until you've fulfilled the requirements for it. So here, the name of the attack op is challenge, and it's very flavorful. Okay, so even if we don't know the campaign yet, the narrative, the fluff of the match play games, of the objectives, is already looking really good. And if you look at the challenge, TAC op, it's like, okay, I designated that operative of yours. So operative is your unit. So
yeah,
I choose my operative to challenge that enemy operative, and I've incapacitated. I flip my trap card, and I score VP. So it's a nice little bonus, diba?
It is. It is.
and, and I like that. I
And
like that.
it's how a lot of people play. Like, I hate this guy in particular, so especially like during campaigns and longer games, or like
Yeah.
between groups of friends na um for example, during our Kill Team campaign, there was this entire stretch where Boy's entire purpose in life was to kill Goyo, the gene stealer cultist Goyo. So,
Oh,
and who he finally like sniped off like near the end.
and
So
that's what's great about.
this makes for a lot of like flavorful gameplay
Yeah, and you can build your lists. You can build your team around these
around this.
secondary
Yeah.
objectives, which makes it again, no, it really adds to the flavor. It really adds to the story of the team that you're building. You're not just messing around with the loadouts or which type of unit you're going to add, because you still have a choice now. So despite what people are saying about, oh no, there are no more points in team building, there still is. Instead of selecting what equipment you will give to a unit, you're just going to choose between the models that are holding that specific
Uh, should we go
loadout.
to like this building?
Ah, yeah, sure. We should.
Yeah. Okay. So it's this one,
Sorry,
right?
I keep forgetting the name of our handsome slide clicker.
That
Uh,
no, I am clicking the slides. So I am
oh,
the
okay.
handsome. And if you don't know my name, like it's right there underneath my picture on the stream. So
No,
like you can read it. Yeah.
I thought it was our other friend, our
Oh
other
no, no,
friend who
it's
was
not DR. So
okay.
he's the one doing the scrolly and general techie stuff for us today.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
got it. Sige, but
But
before we get to
like
the
just tell me whenever we have to change like slides.
okay, okay, sure. Okay, so before we get to the fire teams, let's look at the comments again. Michael Lim, do you guys think the old Kill Team starter box is still worth getting now? Depends. If
If
you're
you
talking about
need
the
the
20,
models and the terrain,
mm,
it would be break even since you can't use the rules anymore. So I
yeah,
would say there's not really much of a saving anymore. So unless you want the terrain, the and both kill teams in just
yeah,
one purchase, it's best to either wait for the new box, or if you have a faction in mind and it's in the older box, just get the separate kit.
yeah. But okay, yeah, because of the core rule book, it'll be a waste, and maybe and also the tokens. The tokens will be different for new kill team. But having said that, the the Sector Imperialis terrain in the Kill Team 2018 set, if you can get it, it's this one. It will be worth it because the savings on that one is big. Unfortunately, not only is it out of print, it's probably out of circulation. The 2019 box, it's still somewhat available, but like what Kesh said, I think you're better off just investing in the new Kill Team box. It will be around the 9,000 pesos range, no?
Yeah,
Tama ba?
at minimum.
At minimum. But, and sure, the older 13 boxes are around 7.5. But
Yeah,
in terms of content, that's relevant. And have you seen that orc terrain? My gosh, that orc terrain is
there's
bonkers. Look
actually
at
a
that.
lot more terrain here, and compared to like the previous kill team boxes, more models.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot for
and those orcs are
9,300.
chunky, and they're all
They
like
are.
new sprues.
Yes, so totally new spruce. That orc terrain is bonkers. The number of models is
Yeah,
bonkers. There's just a lot. So
yeah.
just save your
If,
money for that one.
if we're gonna be honest, the Kill Team 2019 box was just there to sell off Reavers.
Uh,
Milan's favorite unit in the game, the Reavers gods, the black
but they
sheep of the
are
Space
good.
Marine Codex. They
They
are good
are
in
good in kill team. In
Kill
kill team.
Team, yes. But like I've never actually seen them in a base game of 40k. They're so
Ah,
bad.
no. Yeah. So yeah, let's just be honest with ourselves
Yes,
and
yeah,
say that.
they are bad. Like Milan is designing an entire army around them. just because. Uh, okay. So you mentioned before that the points are gone. So how do we build lists now?
Okay, so I chose this particular fire team because this is the one that had a lot of people asking, and somewhat raging because, oh no, we can't switch the loadouts anymore. We just have to choose the models, which is funny because with this you don't need to mess around with switching loadouts. You're just choosing the particular model with the specific loadout that you want. So new Kill Team, your squad is composed of one or two fire teams, one or two depending on the faction. Adeptus Astartes will have one fire team because they're elite, and a fire team will be composed of anywhere between um, six 3 to 8 models. Okay, and that will matter. No? So, an Astartes fire team is composed of 6 models, and from what we've seen, you'll be choosing the 6 models from the available units that you have. No? And there will be restrictions. And the best example to use would be the Guardsman fire team because we already have it. A Guardsman fire team includes 7 Guardsman operatives selected from the following list. Okay, but we'll backtrack a little. At the very top of this image, you see an Imperial Guard kill team consists of 2 fire teams selected from the following list. Guardsman, Tempestus Scion. So what does this mean? You can either have one Guardsman fire team and one Tempestus Scion fire team. Those two combine into your kill team. Alternatively, you can do 2 Guardsman fire teams
Or
and
two
or
Tempestos?
correct. Now, once you've chosen your fire teams, within the fire team, you're going to select which models you're taking, no? And it gives you the unit choices. So, to summarize this image, you're basically choosing 7 models from that list. And the additional restrictions for the Guardsman fire team is from those 7, you can only choose you can choose the troopers up to 7 times. Okay, so these are your bog standard troopers. No, you can choose up to you can have your fire team of 7 to be composed entirely of troopers, but you can mix it up. You can carry up to you can include up to 3 gunners. Okay, you can have up to 3 gunners and or comps, and then you can only select them twice. So, um, an example fire team would be um, 4 troopers, 1 comms, and your flavor of gunner. Maybe
Yeah.
that gunner could have the flamer, the other gunner could have the grenade launcher. So, in a sense, you are still able to choose your loadouts, but instead of messing around with the data sheet and picking off, okay, this guardsman will carry this. You just choose which guardsman you want, and that guardsman may have the loadout that you want.
Yeah. This
So,
makes everything simpler in not necessarily in a list building point of view, but in like a modeling point of view. Because like
yes,
for stuff like Necromunda and like you change your weapons, like you can so there's a lot of magnetization involved. Like people used to magnetize a lot for Kill Team, but
yeah,
seeing this, it's actually a lot easier.
and
Yeah.
it also it from a balancing perspective, it also prevents spam. And if you take a look at the history of Killteam, Imperial Guardsmen are actually at the top of the list along at the top of the top 8 lists, including Tau Pathfinder teams. Which so guardsmen would spam plasmas. They would spam plasmas. You'll be facing 7 plasmas in a
Yeah.
14
So now you
model
can
team
only have one plasma, and that also
per fire
means
team.
that oh gosh, my 4 man sorry my I used to have what we called Kill Team Escudero because it was cheese. So it's a Death Watch Sergeant, and the four of
Not political, guys.
the Death Watch, what you call it again? I just call them the cheese guns. The
Okay. The plasmas.
comment section, help me. No, it wasn't the plasmas. It was the Death Watch missile launcher. The Death
Frag-
Watch grenade launcher thing.
Okay, I thought the frag
Yeah,
cannon.
yeah, yeah. The frag cannon. Yes, yes, definitely. That was just hilariously disgusting.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the frag
um
cannon.
now, yeah. So now you're limited to no. You're limited to two plasmas for guardsman kill team. One per fire team. That's it. And then the rest will be your grenade launchers, your and
Though
then
it
no,
says here, you can only include each operative above one. So you can only have two plasmas if you have two fire teams, right?
yeah, two plasmas if you have two fire teams from the guardsman. Yeah. So that's
Okay.
fair, no? And you have 14 models eh. So a guardsman team then will be having a total 14 models. But I think the Tempesto Scions will have less. No.
Yeah, they'll probably have like five.
Yeah, five, which is pretty okay, no? Another variation of the kill team list building, in Custodes, they're no longer called Custodes. They are now Talons of the Emperor.
Yeah,
You can now play the Golden Boys with the Golden Girls, and it will be two custodians, and you can choose your flavor of custodian, the sword and shield or the spear variant, and then you can have five Sisters of Silence in the three different flavors. You have the Flamer Sister, you have the
the
Bolt
sword
Gun Sister,
sister and
and the Sword Sister. There
yeah,
you go. So that's seven models. And that's still balanced because you have your five sisters running two objectives or tying up opponents. You have your two custodians with their 4 APL and 18 wounds, killing stuff at infinite range. So, and they're pretty hard to kill. And that balances out. Death Guard, if I read carefully, is three, so two fire teams, which are, and a fire team can either be eight Poxwalkers or three Plague Marines. So you can have six models, you can have 16 models, or you can have 11 models. Your, you choose your poison. And I reckon Thousand Suns will be following that pattern. You can have three
yeah. It's
Rubric
gonna be a
Marines
Zangor kill team or a Rubric kill team until
or a
they plug in like the
or
elites.
yeah. So at least now you can express yourself in that way. It still gives you the illusion of choice. It still gives you the illusion of choice, basically. And for me, that's okay. Whatever gets the game going faster, whatever makes list building faster, I'm all for it. So I think so. I guess no. Are we at the final thoughts segment
Hindi pa naman.
already?
I think we
Hindi
have
pa naman.
an extra slide here. Interloper. Oh, it's another
Oh yeah,
tack up. Okay.
yeah. It's another tap op. So the interloper is just another of those. Aha! I review my trap card. Surprise!
Okay.
Mother,
So they're
father.
they're yes, yes. So it's another one of the trap cards. Okay.
Yeah, it's mother. Yeah, it's one of the other trap cards. Which again, no, these are all design choices that make that moment to moment gameplay. Give the illusion of speed. At least in theory, no. But no, I mean, I'm wearing my game designer hat this time, and from what I'm seeing, it really gives you that tension that makes the game feel faster than it actually
Yeah.
is.
Though my concern with these, in practice, they are going to slow down the game, especially during the learning stages, and it's gonna be a bit more intimidating for like a new player to have. Uh, though now seeing how they simplified list building, a lot of it is going to be how you choose your tactical objectives deck, your tactical
Yeah,
operations deck. So
yeah.
it's gonna be more deck building than it's gonna be as much deck building as list building.
Oh, definitely. You'll have to
Yeah,
consider your secondaries carefully
yeah.
when it comes to list building. So in a
So
sense,
that may be a bit intimidating for new players, but we will see.
we will see, we will see, and we'll see soon enough. We'll see soon enough. It's August next month.
Yeah, because there are a lot of card game purists who like the deck building aspect, and they did like, for example, Warhammer Underworlds because they didn't have to mess with like models. Like these are
Yeah,
your four models, and you just build a deck. Or this is your
and
army, you
there's
build
Fat
the
Kit.
list. You don't have to like build a deck for it. So there are also many spirists. So this is a lot more middle ground, and it's
Definitely.
yeah, though it's a step in the direction that they're going, which started with the Kill Team Ninth Edition General's Handbook, where they sorry, General's Handbook, chapter approved,
Yeah,
chapter
chapter
approved.
approved.
Yes, yes, the chapter approved, which has the secondary objectives which you choose at the start of the game. Though this is a lot more like uh the Necromunda tactics cards, or something like Star Wars Legion, where you have an orders deck as a part
Yeah,
of like your list building.
but at
So
least
like
here
we
it's
yeah,
it can be written on paper because
yeah,
these are the same pack ops that you'll see in the book. But
yes,
there will be cards. There will be
yeah,
cards for convenience. For convenience. But in
yeah.
terms
I
of core
just hope
gameplay,
that there
sorry,
aren't
go.
too many of them,
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
that's gonna make it like a lot more intimidating. If you only have like 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 10 options, that's totally fine. But if you have like 50 options to choose from, gods, that's gonna be a mess.
yeah. But I guess the way I'm looking at this is also as a board gamer. When it comes
Hmm.
to the teach, when it comes to the teach, you can totally ignore the pack ops in your first rodeo.
To
Just
start with, of course.
yeah, just start with something simple. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we can go final thoughts, and then we can do an FAQ.
Yeah, sure.
So
Um,
Teacher Mikey, final thoughts on the new Kill Team.
Final thoughts on the new Kill Team. I'm super excited for it. The cinematic trailer gives us an idea of what to expect in terms of the. So I keep on using the term, no, the moment to moment action,
Yeah,
and
with
I think
shovels.
that's some. Yeah, with shovels, with power shovels, and I think that's something that's been sorely missing in the old Kill Team. Um, I'm super big fan of old Kill Team. So many great memories of it, but these changes I think are for the better. Um, Change is scary, sometimes, particularly when it's related to um, politics. But in this particular situation that we have in the new Kill Team, I think it's going to create a very, very accessible experience that newcomers will delight in and will also draw veterans into something for them to enjoy as well. If they're not in the mood to play big 40k, I think I think this new Kill Team will make them will give a very compelling reason for them to try.
All right, I'm actually very excited for this system. I want to see how it plays. I love how they simplified list building. Um, I do also like these.
Templates.
Yeah, and I saw somewhere in the comments someone's like, someone's gonna custom paint these. I am gonna custom paint these. I
Oh
custom
yeah,
paint
definitely.
all my templates, like from Blood Bowl, etc. I custom paint those. I even custom painted like tokens for War Machine back then. So like personalization is like great. I'm very excited to see like what these various special rules mean. I'm also very, very excited to see how they do multiplayer and
Right.
the campaign system, particularly the campaign system. If they have a
Me
banging
too.
campaign system that's at least as good as like the Crusade system in 40k, I'd be completely happy. And I guess my biggest concern from a store owner perspective is it's gonna be harder to use this as a gateway drug now, since it's a steeper learning curve from one game system to another.
Right. That
Unless we
makes
get
sense.
10th edition next month or something. And then surprise, it's all opposing dice rolls. But
Oh
I
wow,
doubt
that
that's
would be
gonna
the
happen.
day.
Like I
Yeah.
don't think it's a system that lends well in terms of mass combat.
Nah, I don't think
Yeah,
so. Yeah, I agree with you. I
yeah.
agree with you.
Pero it really is a good system for skirmish.
Oh, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
technically, for as long as you have the models, you have that's your gateway. That's your gateway to
Uh,
the bigger 40K. Yeah.
But honestly, there are a lot of like extra stuff in here. But all you really need to play are your models,
Yeah.
T6s, and a measuring instrument,
That's
and of
it.
course the core book. That's it.
Yep.
Like everything else is optional. You can like play with an illustration board with like drawn on terrain. That's like I'm not gonna enjoy it, but you can do it.
Yeah.
People have been known to play Warhammer in war zones with like bottle caps. Um,
Oh yeah, I saw
you,
that.
yeah, you don't need the tactics cards because they're in the book.
Yeah.
The tokens are probably gonna be optional as long as you remember which is which. So
Yeah.
tokens are really recommended when you have kill teams of like larger numbers. It's not gonna matter as much if you like play four custodes models. Like if you can't remember what you've done with like the four models, that's a problem, fam. You may need like supplements.
Okay, Michael Lim. 40K version of Underworlds. That might already be in the works because I think, if I remember correctly, there was a product that was previewed a few months ago. A few months ago. It's called Killteam Fire Team. Okay, and it looked very, very much like Underworlds. It had
Okay.
hexes. It had hexes. It had ability cards and preset models for a team. So that might, kasi we were thinking before that that would be the new Kill Team, but apparently
Mm,
we're wrong. We got this and Kill Team Fire Team. Sorry, Warhammer Fire Team. Sorry, Warhammer 40,000 Fire Team.
okay.
That might be the version of 40K for Underworlds. But so far, GW has not given us any updates about Warhammer 40,000 Fire Team. But that might be in the works.
Wasn't Fire Team also that? No, no, that was Fire Warrior, the video game,
Yeah,
with the Tau guy beating Corn things in melee, which makes sense considering what we've seen on the board.
and having an alliance with a space marine. But yeah, stranger things have happened.
It's been done. It's been done.
Yeah,
Um,
kingdom.
we've had like Necrons allying with like Blood Angels in the past, and Grey Knights slathering their armor and Sisters of Battle blood. So that's a thing that can happen.
Okay,
Louis
Louis
De
has a
Leon is
question.
asking, what are your predictions on how 40k ninth ed players will react to this? Will they convert more to skirmish, dismiss it entirely, or include playing it in their regular rotations or sessions? I can't speak for the supremely competitive crowd. It will depend on how good match play is for the system. But a lot of the casual players, um, for campaigns, we can actually interweave skirmish games, skill team games, along with our actual crusade campaigns.
Right,
That's something you can do. Um, and historically, a lot of the 40k players do play kill team on the side. It's just something you do. You already have the models. Why not? You don't need to buy anything new. So, my concern will be more how to convert um, people who will be getting into the new kill team into larger 40k, since it's a new learning curve entirely.
yeah.
So it won't be as easy as Mikey's descent into hell.
Okay. Yeah, speaking of hell, related to loadouts, the flamers, um, these are things that work well in skirmish. And in old kill team, flamers are good. And to and that's a concern that ninth edition players might have. They might have while they may have the models, they might not have the correct loadouts on those models. In Kill Team, you can outfit. So normally in 40k, you have your heavy intercessors. They have to be outfitted with the same
Same weapon.
loadout.
Yeah.
Oh, except one of them. One of them can take the upgraded version. Correct? Tama, di ba?
Yes, one of them can take the upgraded version, but there are three different types of base guns
Yeah.
and three
In Kill
different
Team,
versions of the upgraded weapon.
oh yeah. So even the upgraded version is the different
Has variants, yes.
variations. And in Kill Team, you are allowed to have those different variants, but that means you might have the suboptimal team. You, you have to create teams that are specifically good for Kill
For
Team
kill team. Yeah.
and specifically good for 40k, and it's the transition. So more than just the learning curve, also from a modeling perspective. I mean, you don't need to. You can just count as if you want, but if it's in match play, WYSIWYG, what you see was you get. You really have to model your.
Yeah.
You really have to build your models specifically for one game or the other.
Of course, this is gonna be more of an issue with some armies than others. Like Necrons don't give a shit. They don't care. um,
Lich Guard, the Lich Guard.
and warriors. The warriors now have options. But for example, flayed ones don't care.
Yeah, they just
Um, they just claw. You don't have any other options. Claw or nothing. Necron warriors do have like weapon options now.
the
Um,
Goss.
the Gauss flare versus the other Gauss thing. They're both Gauss. Meanwhile, Immortals do have the choice between Gauss and Tesla. Pero in the last three editions for both game systems, Gauss has been better. So we'll have to see.
Goss
Uh,
Reaper and Goss.
DR, we've already answered that question.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Juno says, sounds like this skill team will be largely good for kit bashing and modeling. Yes, it will be.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah, particularly these kits that are included in the Killteam Octarius box, since they actually showed us the sprues on Warhammer Community. You can check it out there. There are a variety of shovels for you Kriegers out there. The orc bits, there are a lot of orc bits. There are also a lot of those terrain bits which I discussed earlier, which you can like cannibalize and make into vehicles. So Kill Team for this edition, um, Kill Team has always been good for kit bashing and modeling. Arguably more so than Necromunda. Since Necromunda, you're locked into your like gangs, and there aren't really as the gang selections and model selections for the gangs aren't as big unless you play like the Venator gang.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, Kill Team has and always will be a great place for kit bashing and modeling.
Yeah, the fact that they call the power weapons as power weapons on the data cards, they're not power sword, they're not power
Oh, they are
axe.
here. They're just weapons. Okay.
Yeah, they're
So
called power
shovels,
weapon. The shovel,
power shovels.
definitely.
Yes.
So it counts.
Yeah,
Use the
power
shovel.
shovels are the new power swords.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've
Juno will
seen it.
super love this.
So
Yeah, we got a lot of comments today.
there's actually a bit of a lag between like the comment section and like the live. So that's just how Facebook works. There's like a 10-second gap between the stream and people actually seeing it. So let's scroll up and look at the other comments. People saying hello. Rap Rap is saying that the map is small. Yes, the map is small, but it's the same size as it's always been. It's actually 40K, which adjusted to this map size and like just adding more of this map. Yeah, Louis made it to the stream. Nice. For everything you've missed, you can just rewatch the video. Like Facebook automatically uploads it. And yes, we do wish that they would flesh out the campaign.
Oh,
Michael is
we have a
very
new
interested
comment.
in starting team. Oh, we have a new comment. But this is a new comment.
Are the models meant?
These ones are multi kits, like as we see from the sprue. But don't expect them to be as multi kit as like a full multi kit. They are somewhere in between, where some parts fit with other things and some parts don't. So they feel a lot like a Necromunda sprue, honestly.
Yeah,
So
but yeah,
yes, they are multi-kit, but they're also kinda monopose. Like in
yeah,
terms of
that's
like the body, like it's gonna be the same, but you can freely switch your arms, your heads,
mm,
yeah, your
definitely.
weapons, yeah.
That's the issue we had with these guys. Oh, I have some unfinished Plague Marines here.
Right,
The
show us your
Plague Marines,
shame.
yeah. So the Plague Marines, you have all of the loadout options available to you in that kit, but you
Mhm.
need to put a little extra effort in
To making
making
them
the parts
unique.
fit. Yeah, because there are specific configurations for the parts. If you want them to fit perfectly, it's not just you can. It's not that the weapons are connected by the wrist. Sometimes they're connected up to the arm, so you have to perform a little bit of surgery. But in terms of options, they will definitely be
Yeah, they will have
multi,
all the options.
yeah, multi-part,
Oh,
semi-multipose,
yeah,
semi-monopose.
yeah. Louis is asking if how they'll distribute. Yeah, we actually mentioned this earlier. They will be releasing a compendium as a separate
A book,
book. Yeah, so it's gonna be one book for your core rules and then one book for all the data sheets that are available for Kill Team.
like
So
Warcry.
yeah, like Warcry, but with like just one big book instead of like four little books.
So yeah, to temper expectations, Killteam is really all about the unsung heroes, no? and and that's reflected in the unit choices that are available to us. That we've seen in the old Killteam, in the core manual, and also in the elites. So keep your expectations within the troops. The troops choices, some of the elites, some of the fast attack, specifically anything that's footbound. So so I think the cataphrons are in troops. Tama ba?
Yeah, the
Cataphrons are
Cataphrons are in
troops,
troops.
but you won't see them in kill team. You're never gonna see them in kill team.
Yeah,
Blade
because they
guard
have no feet.
veterans are yeah yeah. So what else?
Um,
Pathfinders
Assault
are
Marines
fast
are not
attack.
in Kill Team, right? They aren't.
They
They are
they
now.
are
Okay.
yeah, in the Pariah Nexus update, so everything troops and elites in the ay except the ano, tama. So you got the Blade Guard veterans in Pariah Nexus as well. You
Mhm.
got the heavy intercessors. Okay, that's troops. In Old Kill Team elites, you got the Crisis Battle Suit. That's an elite model,
And
so
it
you can
flies.
expect
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
and it flies. So keep your expectations within those confines.
Troops and elites.
Something with feet, troops,
Something with
elite,
feet.
fast, yeah, and fast
Yeah.
attack. So there,
Because while the crisis suit can fly, it has feet.
it
Meanwhile, the
has,
Cataphrone breachers cannot fly, but they have no feet, so they don't
right,
count as on foot.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Whew,
If you
wow,
can
we got
think
a
of
lot
an
of engagement.
exception of a model without feet that's in Kill Team, that would be great. Like tell us in the comments.
Drones,
I,
tactical drones.
tactical. We do not speak of drones.
But they are fast attack. They are also part of troops, and they come pre-packaged
Yeah,
with
but
your
they
troops
come with
choices.
the unit, so you have
Yeah,
to
they come
like
with the
put
unit.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ano pa
Oh,
ba?
loving the engagement.
Oh,
Loving the engagement tonight. Lots of fun.
okay. So it's free data sheets on the app. I honestly doubt it. The way the 40K app works right now is you have to buy a codex, then use the code to unlock like the data sheets and like the rules in the app. So I don't think GW is gonna be changing that. So there's probably also going to be like a code at the back of the compendium. So they're actually moving away from that then with AOS because AOS will be part of the subscription. Yeah. Though I used to love the AOS app. Like I was subscribed to the AOS app. It was like $1 a month
Yeah.
for like a war skill builder.
My wish for the compendium is for it to contain everything from core rulebook, from old core and old elites, like all of it there. Um, I mean, I'd really love to be able to play Blade Guard veterans that I bought specifically for old Kill Team, and I'd like to be able to use them in new Kill Team as well. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's so weird you calling it old kill team. Where I remember like the old kill team, like where
right.
we only got like updates through black and white free PDFs on like the download section of the website. It wasn't like a supported format. It was how what's that format in 30K? Zone Mortalis
Oh,
is.
yeah, Zone Mortalis.
Yeah. It's how like Zone Mortalis was treated. It's like um this old PDF that never gets updated, that's just in black and white, and it's just like a text document. Yeah, I remember those days. This was the Riptide, actually. Yeah, here. This was the Riptide that Vian faced in his first kill team game. The story behind
Skirmish
that was
Riptide. Oh my
I
goodness.
was really just there to paint. Like I wasn't planning on playing. Like I didn't have dice, I didn't have tape measures. I brought paint. This was in Centris. I brought paint. I brought my Riptide, and I was just painting. And then this Chinese kid like comes in, and they're like, "Oh, he needs to learn how to play." And like he's game with Kill Team, and like I only have one model. And then like we check the rules of Kill Team. It's like, oh, it's an elite. The Riptides were in elites back then in
It
sixth
has
ed.
feet. It
It
has
has
feet.
feet. It has feet. Feet.
It's an elites.
Feet. Yes, it has feet. It's elites. And there wasn't the restriction on 2+ saves back then. It somehow like slipped because the Riptide was a new release and the kill team rules were old and dated and like totally
Like
forgotten.
fifth
Yeah.
edition. Fifth edition Kill Team.
Yes. Yes. So Vian's kill team of a tactical marine squad had to fight a Riptide as
That's
his first
sad.
experience of
That's
Warhammer
super
4. That
sad.
was his first Warhammer experience.
A true gateway experience.
Yes, it was horrible. Like I felt so bad. I was really trying to say no. I was like, I only have the Riptide, so if you want to play, I'll have to bring the Riptide.
Hey, speaking
God,
of first Kill Team experiences, can I show my screen with
yeah,
in
DR, can
case
you?
yeah, in case June is still watching. So yeah, this is our very first Kill Team game, and this is my very first battle
When was this?
report. After Christmas,
Uh,
2019.
2019. Nice.
Yeah, Christmas of 2019.
Oh gosh,
So
that
that's
feels
pretty
so long
cool.
ago now.
Yeah, so that's my Tau versus his Death Guard. Well, this is just a choreographed scene, but
Yes.
here are yeah, and these are scenes from the actual game. See how thick my paints are, and those are Junos. Boom! There's a Crisis Battle Suit about to surprise you, but the Crisis Battle Suit is not aware that there's that guy. And then there's this confrontation with Termies. So this is our second game. I had my Terminators. And there's a sniper. That's the intercessor that charged into No Man's Land. had 12 attacks directed at it and survived. It became the last.
Wow,
Yeah, yeah.
he deserves a promotion, man.
Yeah, it succeeded in all its saves. Was able to score an objective. Unfortunately, we lost this game. My Terminators fell to melee and to plasma. You can see the plasma.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, so yeah, that was a very fun game.
So as first experiences go, like it how was it? Like of course it's not gonna be as bad as Marines against Riptide, but like how was it facing the Death Guard, which
Well,
was
with
like
my,
one of the premier kill teams back then?
it's super annoying. Even with their one wound, even with that one wound, the five toughness made it very tough. Disgustingly resilient on 5 plus. It was
It's
just
disgusting.
annoying.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. My Tau were able to win on the strength of numbers, and because our weapons were default at strength 5 at range, but we barely made it. We barely won. It was my Space Marines that had a lot of trouble. I went down from 10 models in Tau to 6 models in the Space Marine team. I know, I went down to 5 models because I was packing Terminators.
Mm.
And I was kind of a dumb ass back then. I didn't really know how to play properly. And I just thought, I had the better models. They're tougher. We have more wounds, better saves. Nope.
That would have
Nope.
availed you in sixth ed or seventh ed, but not eighth onwards, and not
Yeah.
in like
So
kill team, which was modeled off eighth.
yeah, Juno's plague axe dude killed my Terminator sergeant
Yeah,
in the
it's right
second
there. Oh.
round of the game.
Yeah, it's
In
right
the
there.
second round of the game. Yes, thanks for the reminder, Juno.
Yeah, like
No,
never forget.
but fun times. Yeah, fun times, fun times. And then I played Kill Team with other people na after that, just before the pandemic. Just before
Yeah,
the
we had
lockdown. I
the
was still,
campaign. We had the campaign pa eh.
diba? I was not able to join the campaign because it was
Mm.
already in mid-swing. But I was able to put in a few games with other people in different locations. I started
Yeah,
going around.
we
So
were
yeah,
still actually
fun.
trying to convince you to get into Warhammer back then.
Right. Especially see Dr. Go. I mean, Tope
Yeah,
just
yeah.
was
Doctor Go
really
is
pushing.
just yeah. So in terms of Tau, like our tradition of our Tau players being dedicated to the Chaos God. So like which Chaos God is your Tau dedicated to?
Well, my Tau are not as brave as a certain other Dragonforge mainstay Tau player is, but I reckon in the new kill team, I'll have to perform charges with my Pathfinders. So Corn.
So Corn then, just like Manu.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way you play Kill Team. You play Kill Team by charging head on with shield drones.
With shield
With
drones,
shield
with
drones.
with shield drones actually killing reavers. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
seen that happen.
Oh, yeah, they can last until the end of the game,
But to
especially
be
in Kill
fair,
Team.
they're reavers.
They're Reavers.
I'm sorry,
They're
I don't have any
Reavers.
respect for reavers.
GW giving us all of the excuses to buy them.
They are such a nice like aesthetically. They're such a nice model. It's such a beautiful like fluff design, but in practice it
Yeah,
falls
and,
apart.
and you know what? To add insult to injury, Reavers are good in Kill Team if you're playing 3D Kill Team, where they're able to use their grapnels and
Yes.
their grab shoots. You bring them to arena, they're worse than tactical marines.
Well, yeah, they're expensive, they are shorter range, and the reavers.
They're reavers.
Yeah,
No climbing, no
I'm sorry,
flying for
reavers.
you.
We should actually like do a follow-up stream of how reavers are in New Kill Team once we actually see how they go.
Oh, I
Like if they
suspect
turn
they'll
into a
be.
god unit of like New Kill Team, like that'd be great.
Milan loves them.
Milan loves them. Like holy hell. Like he has what 30, right? 30 Reavers, Jesus.
Yeah, Reavers look really cool. My first kill team of Space Marines has them because they're really nice. They're really nice.
Yes. So it's 9:30. I think that's all the time we have for today. So I'd like to thank like Teacher Mikey for coming over here with us and like discussing the new kill team. Next week we'll probably have a different thing altogether. We'll be moving away from Warhammer, and DR will be talking about Dungeons and Dragons. As yes,
Oh,
as to exactly what he's going to be talking about, I have no idea just yet, and I don't think he has an idea just yet.
I am
So, like,
excited. I will be watching.
yeah, yeah, of course you'll be watching.
Oh, I got this from Dragonforge.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much for supporting us. Always support your local gaming store, and we hope to see you guys in October when we reopen. Hopefully, the plague has not like gotten worse by then and has actually gotten better. And we hope to play new campaigns with like the new systems,
Yeah.
particularly this new campaign system with Kill Team. Though if it's good, if it's garbage, we're not gonna bother. We're just gonna interweave it with like the 40k campaign. So like fingers crossed, yeah. All right. So thanks everyone. Thanks for watching and good night.
Good night.
Please
Outro
cut the
music.
stream. Cut the stream, dear. Cut the stream.
Should I sing as we cut this